Contributor Steve Perry is in Hartford, Connecticut tonight. He is a fan of No Child Left Behind. Trisha Avalon says No Child is not effective, though she did coordinate the program for New Haven, Connecticut. And also joining us is Bruce Pifke. He is a parent with two daughters who go to school right here in Atlanta, Georgia. He joins me right here on set. So before these two get into it, because they are education people, I want to ask you as a parent, anything that Patricia or Steve can say that can help guide you through this or that might change your mind, what would you like to see to help your child?
Well, I think, number one, 11 years ago, I started off just reading to my daughter's kindergarten class. And that's when I learned that being involved as a parent can make a difference. I also learned that great teachers and great principals make all the difference in the world. So anything that reinforces that model to get better teachers and better principals in school, I think is heading in the right direction.
Okay, listen, I'm going to ask Patricia this. Many critics of No Child Left Behind say it is too results-oriented. Does this Obama plan really present a different option or sharpen that in any way for you?
I think from everything I've heard about what the president is saying, that he's going to take the best points of the No Child Left Behind. I think he is going to change the name, and he's going to make it address the issues that are not just addressing math, reading, and science. For years, for the last 8 years in education, we've been taking an awful lot of time drilling in math, drilling in English, and just recently we added science into that, but to the detriment of all the other programs that enrich the lives of children. Art, music, PE, many of those things. Kids don't have recess many times. Kindergartners are learning how to do bubble sheets when they're 5 years old. And I want to say one thing right now. I'm not saying that No Child Left Behind doesn't have great points, so I want to clear that up. There's two wonderful points that I really like about it. But what's happened, as with any other program, we've lost it somehow, the orchestration and the choreography along the way, and the pressure that it's put on schools. That's the detriment, as I see it.
And Ms. Avalon, that's my next question was going to be, if you didn't think it was effective, then why did you coordinate it in New Haven, Connecticut? And I guess your answer to that would be there were some points to it that you did agree with and you thought were working.
Yeah.
Okay. So
let me just say it was part of my job to do it, and I loved the part of the job because it involved educating parents, engaging parents, and closing the achievement gap. I was very proud of the work we do in New Haven.
Okay, so Steve, why do you think the Obama plan is the wrong way to go? Is it just the rebuke, you believe, of the Bush administration?
Well, I don't know that anyone knows exactly what the Obama plan is just yet, so it's unfair to say that I'm against it or for it. But what I've heard about it says that it's going to peel back the responsibility, as Avalon talked about, the pressure on the schools. The point of No Child Left Behind is simply that, to establish a standard by which every single child will be measured, and that their performance is what determines whether or not a school is an effective school. I have a deep problem with anything that goes in the opposite direction of that. If a school cannot, for 6 years, serve the needs of children, for God's sake, why are we leaving it open? How do we even call it a school? All we can call it is a building with employees. Until such time as we begin to put children's needs above all else, until we begin to give them the options that No Child Left Behind actually called for, what I had expected was that this president would go one step further and say, now that we found so many schools are performing horribly, we need to find more options. We need to look honestly at vouchers. We need to look honestly at other choices. Okay. But to go in any other direction is the wrong way. Okay, and Steve and Patricia, I have to tell you, I always tell you guys, we want to get a lot of points in, so if we can keep them a little bit more concise so that we get all these points in. And plus, we want to let Bruce in. We didn't hear any mention. We heard Steve say, until we put the child's needs above everything else, and we're never going to get it right. I didn't hear anyone say, and not to say that they're not thinking about it, but what about parental responsibility in all of this? Instead of someone saying, we've got to overhaul our education system, what about you as a parent? Do you feel a responsibility there?
Absolutely. I mean, I think parents have to be responsible. They have to be involved in the schools if we're going to raise the standards. There has to be accountability, yes, but I think, No Child Left Behind, the problems, hopefully they're fixing them. The problems were really, good schools were being punished, and other schools that weren't achieving the results they should probably were slipping through. So
I want to ask Patricia, Newsweek recently said it's time to fire all the bad teachers. Have the teachers become scapegoats, and would the Obama plan, you change that at all?
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to you.
Okay. Nobody wants a good teacher. And I'm sorry, nobody wants a bad teacher.
Yeah, you want to say that, start over again.
Yeah, please. And I know unions do get a bad rap because they say, well, you can't fire a teacher because of the union. But let me tell you something, Steve, you're an administrator. It is the administrator's job. The union is only supposed to be there to protect them if things are being done unfairly. But if a principal really does their job, there's 4 years in Connecticut for a teacher to gain tenure. If a principal doesn't know in 2 years that that teacher is not making it, then it is up to that school district and that leader to ask that person to leave without any questions asked. But the unions always get blamed for that.
I'm going to let Steve respond, but I hear the dad here saying, the parents saying, absolutely. So Steve, respond, because listen, the criticism has been by some, hang on, I'm going to let you respond, is that the Obama plan panders to unions. So respond to what she said.
It's interesting that someone who's representing one of the lowest performing school districts in the state of Connecticut would talk about performance. It's important to understand that if we're going to take responsibility for that which we've done, we have to put the problems in their place. And one of the places where we have them is we keep schools open to employ adults, not to educate children. No Child Left Behind in its purest form would close failed schools and put in its place more successful educators and individuals who had the capacity to help children. It would give children choice to go to a tutoring program if need be, and anything else that was necessary to improve the child's performance and not increase the likelihood of the individual receiving tenure.
I'm going to give Bruce the last word here very quickly because we're running out of time. Sure. Why were you nodding to what?
Well, absolutely. I've learned firsthand that the principal is so important in a school, and they have to be held accountable. They have to hold their teachers accountable. And if you have a great principal, odds are you're going to have a great school.
Bruce Pifke, a parent here, Trisha Avalon, who's an educator, C. Perry as well, both educators. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you.